love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up.
I am not sure if the sound will be fine, so please let me know. It should be fine. Hello everyone, Danny, Christoph, Casey, Stonks, Danny, Joni, and Philip, and Bedwars Gang, and Nanny's Clan, and Sky, and Leo, and everyone else, of course. Mike right there. Hello, hi, how are you, everyone? I hope you're doing well. Let's go over the S&P, and I hope you guys seen what I said about the market right now in the latest video I just posted. The community members here, which I believe most of you are mainly the community members here. Hello, Pulse. You guys are up to speed on what we were expecting. We kind of didn't really get a lot on an objective point of view. If you kind of zoom out a little bit, it's not that much of a, you know, something burger, if you will. We have continued that drop, and now we are in what you can tell is more of the sideways type of price action. The bulls are really struggling to gain any momentum, and every time it feels like they are a step behind, and all they can do is just barely catch up with the bears. And as you can see, for example, on the 30 minutes, which what was expected to turn out to be a relatively nice bullish impulse to make it at least to the ceiling of the current channel, which has not made it, and it got stuck at the median of the larger channel, right? So, pardon me, the market is running out of bullish momentum very, very rapidly. Kind of things we were warning about, that 50 range, entanglement, and continuation to the downside. You can see bearish momentum is starting to take over again. We've retested, well, we retested Let me show you. We ended up retesting that support we spoke about yesterday, which I don't remember the number of. It's 51.90 kinda, as you can see. And I would argue that if we're going to retest it one more time at this rate, I'm not going to be surprised if we break down once again. But this time around, our floor, the channel, as it's descending faster and faster, of course, with slippage and momentum, and the assessment that this is sort of a abnormality that needs to be fixed or corrected upon, retail will give out and will fail to protect this area, the 53 region, and will continue breaking down. Does momentum confirm? We're pretty much so. As you can see, we said on the 1 minute becoming bearish very rapidly, 5 minutes is already bearish, 30 minutes becoming bearish, 45 bearish. 1 hour is not yet, but I would argue if you give it, that 10 more minutes towards the end of the session, it will be right perfectly into the break. Tomorrow, the 4 hourly is basically a breakdown paired to candlesticks 1 day. It's basically 2 candlesticks equal to a 1 candlestick we got on the daily. As we said, daily is the only one that is still retaining some bullish momentum, although we know it has to work within the context of all the other smaller time frames, because once these do print their bearish momentum, this is simply going to close. And well, the daily is not as strong and as the weekly, for example, so all this can signify is probably the end of this week and maybe Monday. The real interesting bit comes through on the weekly. Yet very weak, and yet don't forget it is in a bearish turf basically, and so I would highly be surprised if this will pan out to be an actual rally. Best case scenario I can give it is if next week they can start picking it back up. To bring it back, well, the momentum will pick back up, bringing it back to 20 on the stochastic RSI, retesting that 54 range, but again, I highly doubt it, because if we're saying that smaller time frames will print bearish momentum, and so your daily will look ugly as well and start breaking subsequently, your weekly will not hold for longer than a day. Okay, and considering how the momentum plays out and the market plays out today, I'm not going to be surprised if tomorrow we open up with another gap to the downside that then needs to be completed, bringing us back to 5,000 or potentially below 49 handle. So currently the momentum, although kind of misleading on the weekly in my humble opinion, and on the daily a little bit, within tomorrow's session or leading into Monday will be corrected based upon all that negative momentum we see on the smaller time frames. Again, once it prints, of course it will give certain side effects to the larger time frames. It will affect how they look as well. Yeah, so basically, in my humble opinion, this is those who know, the community were in the know from the get-go, from early in the morning. I posted for them an exclusive today. We had a hangout yesterday, another hangout 2 days prior. So basically, we had 2 meetings this week, let alone all the hangouts we had. We had a ton of meetings, a ton of videos, and I believe all my community were more than prepared for this and understood that this candlestick will be probably a temporary pseudo relief rally of sorts to kill off time and retest certain levels that we just kind of plowed through before allowing ourselves to continue even lower. Because remember, the monthly chart is still as bad as it was. In fact, the fact that it continues and does not adjust by any means kind of shows the strength, but then again it will not, because, well, guess what, the quarterly is even worse in that sense. It's preparing for that very bearish move for far longer, and those who understand with all that movement that people are, we did so much, we haven't even started yet. This is just the beginning of the beginning. Now, why do we think all that? Because we understand that all the other time frames cooperating and saying the very same thing. As you can see, we're one step from convergence, although you're not seeing the internal detail, but the very obvious and noticeable part is that we're doing that below the 50, breaking down, retaining us within the bearish momentum sphere, not allowing us to gain any bullish momentum, and every time the flow, the rhythm, if you will, the direction of the market will end up being a lot more bearish than bullish. Those who didn't listen, I kind of warned about this in the first place. By the way, today's video title was meant to be something more akin to stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's just that the thumbnail for some reason failed because it was too big or something weird like that. Although it's weird because I did it in the same way I do all the thumbnails. But in essence, the market is stuck between a rock and a hard place. But first of all, more often, in terms of just regular behavior, the market tends to break down more often than actually in this sort of instance, when stuck between a rock and a hard place, ends up breaking downwards and not breaking up. So more so because of what we're seeing in the technical indicators and have been seeing for the past week, I don't think any changes are inbound for the moment. We're basically retesting the very same levels we've tested earlier throughout the week, and it becomes more of this retest, sort of rebound back and forth within a very narrow range. And once complete retesting, we are probably going to fail below the 5,000, back into the arms of the 4,800, 4,700, 4,900, and then start moving between these row of 3 support and resistance levels, potentially stabilizing again sideways. Then we might have a bit of a rally again, then to be determined in the future whether that rally will be worth anything. At the moment, while I'm speaking, the market is actively breaking, as I was saying it will be. It is rather amusing and entertaining how the market does exactly what I just said. As you can see, the market is pulling to the downside a lot heavier than it is pulling to the upside. We're testing again. We're barely able to make it back to the high points while easily breaking down to the low points. That shows that bullish momentum that we're able to squeeze out almost costs us, every tiny little bit of energy we have, and we earn it by the skin of our teeth, basically. So the moment the market appears to be a lot more bearish on all time frames, and those who are not yet affected by the ones who have not yet printed. My argument is prepare for a very, very bearish end of the week, potentially, and a continuation from here on out into Monday, and potentially the entirety of next week will be rather bearish. We might be able to see new lows within the vicinity of the time frame that we're within. If we're talking about, the monthly time frame or so, basically hitting even lower than that 4,700 that we've tested earlier. Where was that? That was that? No, it was not. It was 48. Yeah, I guess that was the one. Well, near the 4,700, the 4836, whatever that was. In essence, this time around, I would argue that it's far more likely to actually going to taste that 47 proper, break even into the actual range between 4750 to 4800, and then correcting back up, retesting back and forth potentially, and then solidifying that area being rejected by the 5,000 into the very channel. No moon for us. Why? Definitely to the moon. It just depends if you understand where the moon is. That's a good one. Johnny. Mission aborted. Mission. Wait. I hope you're talking about. Okay. Well, I hope Stonks is good. Stonks, you're good? Are you whole, buddy? Thanks, Stonks. Stonks is a legend indeed. Everybody thanks Stonks and the other admins and moderators. They're all legends. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do half of the stuff I do. Yeah, Johnny joke. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Johnny joke. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm so sorry for today's very kind of boring and late update. I was rushing and running and doing a bunch of things and, sessions and calls and whatnot. Literally a very, very crazy day, errands. At the end of the day, I can tell you that now I will remind you, those who are not yet in the one-on-one academy, those who have not been a student, not yet really understand the depth of the technical tools, how to do them right, I now reopened 3 spots, 2 of which are kind of added, if you will. So consider them as a bonus spots. The one-on-one academy right now, I will be signing up 3 students, first come, first served, right? Whoever signs up first, takes the spot. If you guys miss out, you miss out. Then it'll probably going to be closed for a couple of months there. Another important thing, definitely join Patreon, and then you'll be able to join Discord. Right now, all the prices are discounted. And on the 19th of the month, right, next week, basically, the end of next week, the prices will be going back up on Saturday right there. So make sure before Saturday you join Patreon, because all prices are right now 50% discounted. If it's a $20 tier, now it's a $10 tier. If it's a $40 tier, now it's a $20 tier. In fact, let me show you in case you're wondering. This is how you join: www.patreon.com/investory. Then you'll be greeted with this nice, wonderful screen. Don't forget to change the ticker to the 10% annual. Of course, then you'll be paying annually, but then you'll be saving a little bit more, just a little bit more. Why not? And right now, as I said, this is going to become a $20 tier on the 19th, and this will become a $40 tier. So definitely join in, otherwise you'll be missing out. Because my members, you can ask them in the chat or in the community itself, were definitely informed, up to speed, and knew this sort of behavior is expected and is probable within the following session. In fact, I believe my students and my academy and my overall Patreon members are more than prepared for the upcoming week as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Can you look at UAM? Sorry, bad. I'm so sorry. Today we're not going to do any tickers. I am running very late. I have so many things to do. That's why I made an effort in advance to make extra videos to kind of make sure, even though I will do the live, I will keep everybody informed so people can watch it later and whatnot. We'll do that on the Discord tomorrow, if you don't mind. If it's not really urgent. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. Really, lots of errands. But I said I had to go live, just at least for this little tidbit, and kind of convey what I'm seeing and show you guys the same thing. In essence, it's not that a lot has changed. We're pretty much seeing the very same things we saw earlier. Is that we identified that bullish momentum is very temporary, going to run out very quickly, retaining us with the very same downwards looking channels. And in fact, as you can see, even struggling to make it to the ceiling, basically to that top. So we're still, it appears to be more so retained within the lower band, if you will, or trend of the trend currently, right? We have two bands. You can see the top one overbought, oversold, basically territories, or again, more bearish, more bullish, to be more precise, because it's not really oversold, overbought. It's more bearish and bullish, if anything. And so retaining in the bearish territory, showing far higher indication that we're going to continue at this trend, at least at this pace. Retesting potentially the 5,000, as we said, retesting potentially moving into that wedge, and maybe even lower, as we said, 4,800. My assumption is, based upon how the monthly structure is setting up to look like, is that the month will end at no higher than 5,000, and in my opinion, far closer to 4,800. Again, it can. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that in my opinion, based upon the setup we have right here on the monthly, we are not going to end above 5,000 the month. The month will close, in my humble opinion, closer to 4,800, maybe even lower. Maybe even lower, not going to lie. That's it, boys and girls. I hope I was at least able to convey how serious the condition is. I'm so sorry. And how much of a severe sort of downturn the market can take within the following sessions. I was truly following today the market pretty much most of the day. Even though I was slightly busy back and forth, I was still following pretty much every second of the day. And I can tell you that what I saw today is that the market is barely struggling to barely make up for what the bears did the day before, and they always stay in a disadvantage, and thus always, if you can call it, a step behind. Continuing in this space, we're probably going to hit short-term or medium-term supports. Once we break below them, because they're at the edge right now, we end up in a wider channel, far lower, and getting stuck there for at least a couple of weeks, if not roughly a month period. before retesting and continuing further downwards. Why? Because that's what the longer time frames are showing. Don't forget the quarterly. It looks far worse than the monthly. Yeah, I'm sorry for all this entire rant. I really have to run. I love you all. I really hope I will see all of you in the community. We're going to make, hopefully, another community hangout tomorrow. Hopefully all the moderators and the community will be able to come and join. It's going to be open for all the Patreon and the Discord members to join, basically. And yeah, that's it. Everyone, don't forget to join. Don't forget to DM me about the One-on-One Academy. Otherwise, you will be missing out. And then we'll be asking in about a month when I have no spots. Don't forget also, the quicker you join in, the more time frames you'll have to choose in between. What is more comfortable for you in terms of your schedule. Don't forget, that is also very important. For the time being, like I said, see you on the next one or on the Discord. Bye-bye.